Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. So as you are all aware of, we had started with the chapter the urinary system. So a small concept under this particular topic, that is the role of the kidneys in the acid base balance, is what we are going to consider in this particular video. So we have seen the details of the urinary system. Okay, so we have considered the kidneys in details. What is the structure, what are the histological details within the kidneys, and what is the main function, that is the urine formation. So we have also covered the physiology of the urine formation. So apart from urine formation, which is the main role of the kidneys, by which it helps in maintaining the homeostasis of the body fluids as well as the electrolytes. Okay. So as it helps in maintaining these electrolyte balance, apart from that it also helps in maintaining this acid base balance in the body. Okay, so there is a role of kidney in maintaining this particular acid base balance. Otherwise what will happen? It will result in disruption. So acid base imbalance will be produced, acidosis, alkalosis. So conditions like this will be precipitated. So how kidney helps in maintaining this acid base balance is what we are going to discuss in this particular video, which is one of the functions of the kidney. Okay, so before going into the role of kidney in maintaining this balance, let us brief over what exactly is acid base balance. So we will be considering the concept of pH. Now what is the pH of a particular solution? That is the potency of hydrogen ions, right? What is the concentration of the hydrogen ions in a particular solution will determine the pH of that particular solution. So what is the role of this pH in maintaining the homeostasis within the body? Okay. So these acids and bases, okay, the acids and bases which are present in the body, these are distributed in requisite quantities across the several membranes within the body. Okay. So in the intracellular, extracellular fluids, there is a balanced distribution of these acids as well as the bases, which helps in ensuring the homeostasis within the body. Okay. Now what do you mean by this acid and the base? You must have studied already under your chemistry what is an acid or what is a base. Okay. So with your basic knowledge of acids and base, we will be considering the concept of pH in this particular video. Okay, now what do you mean by an acidic solution? When do you call a particular solution is acidic in nature? Okay, it is when there are more number of hydrogen ions, H plus ions, which are dissolved. This indicates that particular solution is acidic in nature. Okay, so more the hydrogen ions dissolved in that particular solution, more will be the acidity of that particular solution. And when do you say that a particular solution is basic or alkaline in nature? When there are more hydrogen ions which are OH minus ions which are dissolved. So more the hydrogen ions which are dissolved in the solution, more basic will be that particular solution, or you can say that the solution is more alkaline. Okay. So more the concentration of H plus ion, more the acidity. More the concentration of the OH minus ions, that is hydroxide ions, more will be the alkalinity of that particular solution. Now these ions are also present in your body fluids, right, especially the H plus ions. Okay. It is present in the body, right, in variable amounts it will be present in different body fluids. Okay. So, that will determine whether that particular body fluid is acidic in nature or alkaline in nature, or whether it is neutral. Now, what do you mean by neutral? Neutral means it is neither acidic nor basic, it is intermediate. It is a balanced state wherein the solution is neither acidic nor basic, so it is neutral. Now, there are different body fluids which have a particular pH. Okay, a specific body fluid will have a particular pH, okay, and it is very important to maintain that particular pH in that particular fluid. So, if this pH is altered, if there are even small changes in the acidity or alkalinity of a particular body fluid, it will directly affect the chemical reactions which are taking place in that particular fluid. So, obviously, if these chemical reactions, okay, so various chemical reactions are taking place throughout the body, right, several metabolic reactions are taking place. So, imagine if these conditions are altered, it will disrupt the homeostasis, and the reactions which are taking place, they will also get affected. Okay. So, any alteration in these concentrations of the ions, your acidity and alkalinity, that is determined by the concentration of these ions, right, how much amount of the H plus ions are present or OH minus ions are present. So, even a small alteration in the normal levels of H plus ion or OH minus ion concentration, it will result in disruption of the body functions. So, body functions may get affected or the homeostasis may get affected. Okay, so, let us understand how do you determine pH of a particular solution. What do you mean by a pH of a particular solution? Okay. So, usually the solution's acidity or the alkalinity, a particular solution will either be acidic or it will be alkaline in nature, right. So, this acidity and alkalinity, it is expressed on a pH scale. So, there is a particular range of pH which exists, and a solution may have, or your body fluid may have any particular pH in between this particular range. So, a specific body fluid will have a specific pH. So, it may be variable from 0 to 14. So, this is the pH scale. So, it extends from 0 to 14. So, it may be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on up to 14. Okay. As for example, you can consider the urine. It has slightly acidic pH, right? Is it neutral? No, it is acidic in nature. Your blood, it is neutral in nature, right? It has a neutral pH. Okay, so likewise, different body fluids will have a specific pH which will determine its acidity or alkalinity or its neutrality. Okay, so this particular scale, the pH scale. Now, what is this pH scale? Okay, so it is the scale which is based upon the concentration of the H plus ions in moles per liter. So, this is how the concentration of the H plus ions is determined on a pH scale. Okay, as you can see that this particular rectangle, it is divided into two parts, right. So, one part, the one which is shown in pink in color, that determines the concentration of the H plus ions. It is written in square bracket, that indicates the concentration of H plus ions, right. Whereas, the one which is depicted blue in color, that is the concentration of the OH minus ions. So, what we have seen, that more the concentration of the H plus ion, more will be the acidity of that particular solution, right? And more the concentration of the OH minus ions, more will be the alkalinity of that particular solution, right? So let us understand how these concentration of these two ions alters the pH. Okay. So now let us say, for example, pH 7. Now what is the meaning of this? When do you say that the pH is 7? Okay. What is pH? pH is potency of hydrogen, right? That is the concentration of the hydrogen ions. Okay. So when you say that the pH is 7, so this 7 means it is expressing the concentration of your H plus ions, right? Now how it is expressed? In terms of moles per liter, right? Okay, so as you can see, these values which are given over here, these are nothing but the concentration of the H plus ion. So when do you say that the pH is 7? Now this is the pH scale, right? So we are talking about this now, pH 7. So when do you say that the pH is 7 of a particular solution? When that particular solution contains 1/10 millionth of 1 mole of the hydrogen ions per liter. Okay, so 1/10 millionth of 1 mole of the hydrogen ions per liter. This is the amount of hydrogen which is present in a solution which has a pH of 7, that is 0.0000007. So how you will express this particular amount of hydrogen? Rather than writing in this way, how you can express this particular number? It can also be written as 1 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 7, right? Now when do you write exponential form minus 7? What does it indicate? You can shift the decimal point by 7 towards the left hand side, right? Okay, so if you can consider this 1, if you shift the decimal point towards the left hand side, how many times you have to shift? 7 times. So 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so how many zeros have you got? 6 zeros. So 0.0000001. This is the amount of hydrogen which is present in the hydrogen ions which are present in the solution which has a pH of 7. Okay, so how you will obtain this particular pH? If you can see that there is a direct relation in between this exponent value and the pH. Correct? Now say for example, if you convert these negative exponents to a positive value, that will give you the corresponding pH, right? As you can see over here, 10 raised to minus 7. So if you convert this 7 to a positive value, that will give you the pH of that particular solution, right? Say, take another example. Say for example, 10 raised to minus 4. When you consider this particular exponent minus 4, how you will find out the pH of this particular solution which has the hydrogen ion concentration of 10 raised to minus 4? Just convert this negative exponent to positive value, that will give you the pH of that particular solution, right? 10 raised to minus 12, what is the pH? 12. So as you can see that as the concentration of the H plus ion is going on increasing, in which direction it is increasing now? Is this value greater or this value greater? What is the greater value of the concentration? This is raised to minus 14, right? So this is a low value actually, right? This is the high value. So as the concentration of the H plus ion is going on increasing, what is happening to your pH? pH is decreasing, right? That means that the acidity is going on increasing in this direction. Correct? And as the concentration of H plus ions going on reducing, what is happening to your pH? pH is going on increasing. What does this mean? High pH means alkalinity, right? So it is increase in the alkalinity. towards the higher side of your pH. And what about pH 7? That is the neutral pH. Okay. So, as you can see that the one scale change in the pH, it produces a 10-fold change in the concentration of the H plus ions. Okay, say for example, let us consider this particular example 6, okay, and the 7, though the change in the pH is just by one scale, but what is happening to your hydrogen ion concentration? It is changing by 10 folds, right? Isn't it? This is 10 raised to minus 6 and this is 10 raised to minus 7. So, decimal point is shifting by 1. That means what? The change in concentration is changing by 10 folds. 10 times the change in the H plus ion is taking place. Say for example, when you compare these two pH, here at the solution having pH of 6, it has 10 times more concentration of H plus ion as compared to a solution which is having a pH of 7. Isn't it? And vice versa. So, if you consider the solution which is having a pH of 7, it is having 10 times less amount of hydrogen ions as compared to a solution which is having a pH of 6. What about a higher value? What about 8 and 6? There is 100 times less amount of hydrogen ions in the solution which is having pH of 8 when you compare it with a solution which is having a pH of 6. Okay. So, every single scale change in the pH changes the concentration of H plus ions by 10 folds. Okay. Now, what is the midpoint of this particular pH scale? Now, as you can see that pH extends from 0 to 14. Now, what is the midpoint of this pH scale? Yes, that is 7, right? Okay, so, 7 is the midpoint of the pH scale. Now, why do you call this particular pH as neutral pH? What did I tell you? What is a neutral solution? It is neither acidic nor basic in nature. As we have seen that any pH below 7, it indicates that it is acidic in nature. Why? Because H plus ion concentration is going on increasing, or what you can express it as OH minus concentration, that is also going on decreasing. On the other hand, the pH, if you shift on the other side, that is if it is more than 7, what it indicates? The concentration of the H plus ions is less, it is going on decreasing, right, as you move on this side. So, what does it indicate? The solution is alkaline in nature. Now, why this pH 7 is called as neutral? That is because both the hydroxide ion concentration and the H plus ion concentration both are equal at this particular point, right? Okay. So, the pH 7 is called as a neutral pH. So, any solution that has more H plus ions as compared to OH minus ions, that solution is considered as acidic solution and it has a pH of below 7. Okay, that is what we can conclude from here, right. As you can see, if the hydrogen ion concentration is more as compared to the OH minus ion, the solution is acidic and the pH will be below 7, and any solution that has more hydroxyl ion as compared to H plus ion, it is basic in nature and has a pH of above 7. Now, in a healthy person, the pH of the arterial blood must be maintained in between 7.35 and 7.45. Okay, so, the pH should be maintained close to the neutral pH. Now, what do you understand by this particular pH of 7.4? When do you say that the pH is 7.4. So it corresponds to the concentration of the H plus ion, that is 0.00004 milli equivalents per liter or 40 nano equivalent per liter. So this indicates that the pH of the blood is 7.4. Okay, so almost it should be round about 7.4. Okay. Now there are several metabolic reactions which result in production of a lot of amount of H plus ions. So what will happen if this H plus ions which is produced by metabolic reactions, if this is not removed, what will happen? It will go on accumulating. Correct? If this is not removed out of the body, if due to some reason, if the disposal of this H plus ions, if it is not functioning properly, then what will happen? Very high amount of H plus ions will accumulate in the body fluid. So this condition is known as acidosis, the increase in the acidity of the body fluids. This indicates the acidosis. So this can be lethal sometimes. Okay, so it's very important to maintain the homeostasis of this H plus ion concentration within a narrow range. As you can see, the range is very much narrow, right? 7.35 to 7.45 is the pH of your blood which needs to be maintained by removal of a lot of amount of H plus ions which are produced in the body. Okay, so what makes it possible to maintain the homeostasis of this H plus ion concentration? So what are those different mechanisms which are responsible for removal of this H plus ions from the body? So there are three main mechanisms which are involved, which help in maintaining the pH of the body fluids within a narrow range. Okay, by removal of this H plus ion which is generated by the metabolic reaction. So the three main mechanisms include the buffer systems, second one is the exhalation of the carbon dioxide, and the third one is excretion of the H plus ions by the kidneys. Okay, so coming to the first mechanism. Okay, so these are the three mechanisms which help in maintaining the acid base balance of the body. What do you mean by maintenance of an acid base balance of a body? To maintain the pH of the body fluids within a narrow range. So first system is the buffer system. So buffer, as you all must have already studied about the buffers. So buffer is nothing but it is a solution which helps in maintaining the pH of a particular solution within a particular range, right? So there are several buffer systems in the body which temporarily bind to this H plus ions and thereby removing excess of H plus ions from the solution. So as a result of binding of these buffers to the H plus ion, what will happen? It will get neutralized. So what will happen to the pH? As the concentration of this H plus ion is decreasing, what will happen to the pH? Yes, the pH will raise. It will move towards the neutral pH. Okay. The second mechanism is exhalation of the carbon dioxide. So this you are already familiar about this particular process of removal of the carbon dioxide from the body through the respiratory system. So we have seen the different ways by which the carbon dioxide is carried, right? It is in the dissolved form. That is one form in which the carbon dioxide is travelled. Second one is in the form of bicarbonate ions. Okay. So this bicarbonate ions, it is formed from this carbonic acid, right? So H plus ion, it can combine with the bicarbonate ions to form the carbonic acid, right? So as a result of this, what will happen? It will help in reducing the H plus ion levels of the blood. So as it is carried by your blood and it is excreted out or it is exhaled out, it gets converted to carbon dioxide and it gets exhaled out of the body. So what will happen? It helps in elimination of this H plus ions. So thus it will help in raising the blood pH towards the neutral. And the third mechanism pertaining to your urinary system is the excretion of this H plus ions by the kidneys. We have seen that H plus ions are secreted by the kidneys, right, with the help of several types of transporters. Though it is the slowest mechanism, but it is an important mechanism by which the H plus ions can be eliminated from the body. Thereby it will help in reducing the acidity of the body fluids. Okay, so let us see what is the role of kidneys in excretion of this H plus ion. Of course, we have already covered these particular different types of transporters under the tubular secretion and reabsorption part. Okay, so it will just be a revision of what we have already covered. So we will see what are the different ways by which this H plus ion can be removed. Okay, so from where this H plus ion comes? Yes, it is from the metabolic reactions. Okay, so it produces non-volatile acids like sulfuric acid at the rate of about say 1 milli equivalent of H plus ions per day are generated, okay, every kilogram of the body mass. So you can see that a huge amount of H plus ions are produced each day. A lot of acids are getting generated in the body. So very high amount of H plus ions are generated within the body by these metabolic reactions. So the most important way by which this H plus ion can be excreted is in the urine. Okay. So as you all are already familiar with H plus ions, these are secreted in the PCTs, right, the cells which are lining the PCTs. So you must be familiar with this. This is the tubular fluid. This is the cells lining the proximal convoluted tubules. This is the interstitial fluid, and that is the peritubular capillaries. So we have seen that the apical membrane of these cells lining the proximal convoluted tubules, okay, they have a transporter called as sodium hydrogen antiporters. So what is the role of this sodium hydrogen antiporter? This is the active transporter, right? So what is the role of this transporter? It is resulting in reabsorption of sodium ions, but at the same time what is happening to your H plus ions? Yes, it is getting secreted into the tubular fluids, right? So this is how the H plus ions are secreted by this particular antiporter in the PCT. Okay, so this is the main mechanism by which the H plus ions are secreted by the PCTs. Now, more than the PCTs, the collecting ducts are playing an active role in removal of the H plus ions. Okay. So the collecting ducts contains two types of cells we have seen, right? The intercalated cells and the principal cells, right? We have seen the role of principal cells in the reabsorption of water. Apart from this, the second type of cell which is present is the intercalated cells, right? So these intercalated cells which are present in the collecting ducts. Now what is the role of these intercalated cells? That is to secrete the H plus ions. So the apical membrane of this particular cells, this is the apical membrane and that is the basolateral membrane, right? So apical membrane, the one which is facing towards the lumen of the tubule. So it contains a transporter called as H plus ATPase. This is also quite commonly known as a proton pump. Why it is known as a proton pump? That is because it is responsible for movement of a proton. H plus is nothing but a proton, right? So it is responsible for movement of a proton across the membrane against its concentration gradient. Okay, that is why it is also known as a proton pump. Okay, it has an ATPase activity, that is, this particular transporter also has enzymatic activity. So, ATP molecule is utilized for the transportation of this H plus ion across the membrane. So, one molecule of ATP is hydrolyzed to ADP. Okay. So, this particular proton pump is responsible for removal of the H plus ions into the kidney tubules. Okay. So, this particular transporter, it is a quite efficient transporter because it transports these H plus ions against the concentration gradient very effectively, so that even 1000 times more acidic pH of the urine can be produced, okay, because it produces a very high amount of excretion of the H plus ions. So, the pH of the urine, okay, it can be up to 1000 times more acidic as compared to the blood. Okay. Now, from where this H plus is arriving over here? Okay, so it is obtained from the metabolic reactions, right? Okay. Carbonic acid which is generated by the combination of the carbon dioxide and water in presence of carbonic acid, correct? Carbonic acid is generated. So, this will split into H plus ion and bicarbonate ions, right? Now, this H plus ions are secreted in the tubule. So, what happens to these bicarbonate ions now? What is happening? As you can see on the basolateral membrane, there is one more transporter, right? This one. This is a chloride bicarbonate antiporter. So, what is the meaning of this? This is transporting the bicarbonate ions and the chloride ions in the opposite direction. So, whatever bicarbonate is generated within the cells, it is transported towards the interstitial fluid, and in turn one chloride ion will be taken up by the cells. So, what will happen to this bicarbonate ions? It is then entering into the peritubular capillaries. So, this particular bicarbonate which is entering your blood in the kidneys, from where it has come now? It is by the metabolic reactions of the kidneys, right? Is it filtered over here? Is it getting reabsorbed from here? No. From where this bicarbonate is generated? That's from the metabolic reactions of which are occurring in these particular cells. So, this is new bicarbonate. Why it is called as new? Because it is not filtered. It is not filtered, but it is generated in these cells. So, bicarbonate ions are getting reabsorbed into your blood circulation. So, therefore, the blood which is leaving the kidneys, this has a higher amount of bicarbonate concentration as compared to the blood which is entering the kidneys. Okay. Now, this is how the H plus ion secretion will take place in the kidneys, thereby removal of the H plus ions will take place, right? In the PCT there is sodium hydrogen antiporter, and in the intercalated cells of the collecting ducts there is a proton pump. Now, apart from these transporters at this particular membranes, there are other types of intercalated cells in the collecting ducts which has the proton pump in its basolateral membrane. Now, which is the basolateral membrane? This is the one, right? Usually where the proton pump is located? It's located on the apical membrane, right? Okay. But there are some intercalated cells in which this proton pump is actually present on the basolateral membrane, and the antiporter, the chloride bicarbonate antiporter, rather than being present on the basolateral membrane, it is present on the apical membrane. So, what will happen in such type of cells? Usually what happens, the intercalated cells help in secretion of the H plus ions into the renal tubules. Now supposing if this transporter is present on the basolateral membrane and if this transporter is present on the apical membrane, what will happen? In which direction these ions will move? Obviously the H plus ion will actually get reabsorbed, right? And what will happen to your bicarbonate ions? These will be actually getting secreted. Okay. So these two types of intercalated cells help in maintenance of the pH of the body by these two ways. When the pH, if the pH is low, that means if it is acidic in nature, what should happen? The H plus ions should get excreted out, right? Now supposing if the body pH is high, that is it is alkaline, what should happen? Now what this means? That the pH of the body is high, means the concentration of your H plus ion in the body is low, right? When is the pH high and the concentration of the H plus ion is low? So in that case what should happen? This secretion of the H plus ion should stop, right? Rather than that it should get reabsorbed. So these two types of intercalated cells will help in maintaining the body pH depending upon the situation. If the pH is low, it will excrete the H plus ion, it will be excreted out, and if the pH is, yes, it will get excreted out, and if the pH is high, it will get reabsorbed. Okay, so this is how it helps in maintaining the homeostasis of the H plus ion concentration. Now apart from this mechanism, that is secretion of the H plus ion, the H plus ions which are secreted, these are also buffered. There are two buffers which help in excreting of these H plus ions. Okay, there are two buffers which are operating. So these will combine with the H plus ions which are secreted. This is the proton pump, right, which will secrete the H plus ions into the tubular fluids. So your H plus ion is in your tubules, right? Now there are two substances which act as a buffer, which can combine with this H plus ions so that it will not get reabsorbed. The most plentiful buffer is this one, HPO4 minus 2, that is monohydrogen phosphate ion. This is the one. So this monohydrogen phosphate ion, it will combine with the H plus ion to form dihydrogen phosphate ion. As you can see over here, H2PO4 minus, it was HPO4 minus 2, right? Now addition of one H plus ion is taking place over here. So what will happen? H plus, one positive charge, so one negative charge will be neutralized, so it will become H2PO4 minus. So this is the first method by which the buffering of this H plus ions will take place, and there is one more substance which is present in these tubules, that is ammonia. A small amount of ammonia which is present, it can also combine with your H plus ion to get converted into ammonium ion, okay, NH3, by addition of H plus ion, it has got converted into ammonium ion. Okay. So these two substances which are formed, dihydrogen phosphate ion and the ammonium ion, these cannot be reabsorbed into the kidney tubules. Why do you think they will not get reabsorbed? They are excreted as it is. They cannot diffuse back into the tubular cells. Why? Yes, because they have a charge on them, right? So they will get repelled. Any charged substance cannot cross the membrane, right? So even these have very large size so that they cannot cross through these paracellular spaces. And there are no specific transporters for these substances. which can help in crossing these particular ions across the membrane. So, this is how the H plus ion which is secreted, it will be excreted out of the body. So, this is how it will help in maintenance of the acid base balance of the body. Okay. So, this is to do with the role of the kidney in maintenance of the acid base balance. So, we have seen what exactly is a pH, what is a pH scale, and what are the role of the kidneys, what are the different parts of the nephrons which are involved in the excretion of the H plus ions. Okay, so this is the reference. Thank you for watching.